Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week, you also, just like Virgo, have the High Priestess. So for them, this was about self-realization. So the intuitive self speaking to the conscious self. For you guys, I actually feel like some of the more traditional meanings are going to be the case this week. If I'm honest, the feeling that I get just from this card alone, let alone anything else, is this week you are likely to come into a realization, like your intuition could be confirmed around something that has been kept from you. And I kind of feel like this is one of those things, you know, where somebody's, you know, maybe they're angry with you, maybe you've had a little bit of a tiswas, maybe you've had a disagreement, but they talk shit about you. And I'm sorry to say, it looks like it's going to find its way back to you this week. That being said, you know, obviously examine whatever the reasons are or may be. This is something that you should definitely look at. But that High Priestess, I kind of feel like this week it is going to be something that's revealed to you about something that has been said about you. And it might be in the heat of the moment, you know, like, can anybody truly put their hand up and say they've never talked smack about somebody, anybody? Exactly, right? So it is what it is. That being said, obviously, if this is something that's happening on a day-to-day basis, etc., you obviously need to examine your closer ties. Now, for those of you that are continued subbies, you know I love you for it. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose, and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. For your actions and options this week, you've got the Six of Swords. So this is very interesting to me because it suggests that a lot of you are taking a journey in secret this week. So for some of you, maybe this is you're going to check out a new pad, but you're not telling anybody about it. Maybe for some of you, this is that you're going for an interview. It could very well be that for a lot of you. You're interviewing for something behind the scenes. You don't want anyone to know about it. It's not something that you're talking about openly until it's a done deal, right? Which is always wise. I think it's like the same with pregnancy. They usually say, like, in the first trimester, you don't tell anybody about it just because, you know, well, if anything goes wrong, etc. So this could be something like that. It's like whatever you're doing, this is a journey, as in a very literal journey that you are taking in secret, in silent, that you're not talking about. And there's obviously a reason behind this as well. Like, get you with your secretive ass. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Three of Pentacles. So for some of you, this is literally like, this is you literally on a journey going to have an interview of some sort in secret. For some of you, this might be about some form of academia. So maybe you're going to study a course, maybe you're going to check out a university, maybe you're going to check out a place of learning. Maybe this is you doing the research. For some of you, it does look like a week where you'll be doing the research on certain courses that you want to take. And for some of you, this will be you researching the company that you're going to interview for. And a lot of you look like you're doing this kind of thing behind the scenes, which is great. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, one way that this might show up for you is, you know, maybe scoping out the competition or looking at other places to work or looking at positions that you want. You start to realize, okay, you know what, I don't have, it's not that you don't have the smarts, it may just be that you don't have the piece of paper, you don't have the qualification, or you don't have the experience. This might be, for a lot of you, starting to build that repertoire in the background so that when the time comes, you can go, yes, now I can go for that because I'm qualified, or do you know what I mean? When it comes to your those of you that are business owners or people that work for themselves, this suggests to me that you may be thinking about outsourcing something. Now, here's where this gets interesting. Because of the mix of cards, I kind of feel like you may have a friend or somebody in your network that can do this thing, but you don't want to hire them. And that's okay, right? We have to normalize this whole idea that not every person that you know is right for your business or is the right connection for you. Sometimes friends are supposed to be just friends, and sometimes friends can become colleagues, but it's not all the time, right? And if this is something that you're hiding or you're planning to outsource, my best advice to you would be to have that conversation with the friend and just say, look, you know what? I love you very dearly, but I don't think that us working together on my business is going to be the right move, because then I'm going to be your boss, and you know how that could turn out, right? For those of you that are retired and no longer working, looks like you're going back to school. It looks like you're really thinking very hard maybe about some of the things, some of your secret desires, you know, of what you want to learn, what you want to study. You find as well, like, unless you're, you know, weird and wonderful like me, you know, it tends to be as people get older that they start to look into the spirituality. Tends to be, you know, once the kids have flown the nest, etc., they get to a certain point and then they start asking those deeper questions of life. This kind of feels like maybe a subject that you've wanted to broach for some time, but just hadn't had maybe didn't have the time, maybe didn't have the resources, but suddenly it starts to become prominent and you feel that push this week. For your love and relations, you've got the Two of Pentacles. So lots of conversations about money, finances, resources this week. It does look like for some of you, this journey that you're taking, it may be about downsizing or increasing the size of a home. It kind of looks like whatever the journey is, whatever the travel is that you're doing behind the scenes, it really is about improving the material experience, but it's coming from a place of, you know, and sometimes people downsize. It's like if you had a family and you had like 3 kids and you know, like, and you needed like 3 or 4 bedroom house and all the rest of it and all that space. A lot of couples get to a certain age and they're like, gosh, I don't need all of this anymore. I'd rather just downsize and have some money in the back pocket. It's totally normal, right? And it makes sense for a lot of people. This could be something like that. And for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, another way that this might show up is you and your partner are starting to really discuss very openly and very seriously, I want to go back to school. I want to gain these qualifications. I want to get this knowledge under my belt. There's a strong leaning towards all sorts of learning, academia, gaining of new studies, new skills, all of that kind of stuff is really prominent for you guys this week. And if anything, I actually think this is a good thing. Whatever this journey is that you're taking in secret, for those of you that are partnered, it is a journey that you're taking with the partner. So it's one that you're taking together, but not necessarily telling everybody about. For those of you that are single, one way that this might show up for you is through the process of study, research, through the process of wanting to learn something new or gain new skills. That could be where you are introduced to somebody new, right? So if you're going for any sort of, and for a select few of you, it might even be in the interview process. Maybe it's that person that you knock out and say, well, you know, I took the job from you, but would you like a cup of coffee or do you want to go for a drink sometime? You never know. For your money and materials, you've got the Page of Cups. So I mean, really, it's underneath the Three of Pentacles. For a lot of you, whatever it is that you're choosing to study or whatever field you're choosing to go into or whatever job you're choosing next, it's something that it's like, because the reason I say this, I feel like this is you making money from something that you genuinely love to do. Like your heart is in this. And when your heart is in something, it shows, right? Because you love it. And when you love what you do, other people love what you do. That's just that's universal law, you know, vibrational spiritual mechanics, for crying out loud. You know, it's literally that simple. And it looks like this week you guys are tapping into that, but you're very, very cagey about it. It's like, not cagey like, ooh, shifty or anything like that, but it's like you're not really sharing much about this. So I'm intrigued. But yeah, money looks good this week. It also, as well, for those of you that are partnered, it looks like you're starting to consider how you and your partner can make more money, or maybe saying this is going to be the hit that we have to take now. But because we're doing something that we love, we know that the longer term benefits are there. So this is kind of like an investment. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, for me, the Page of Cups is very Piscean kind of energy. And so what this tends to speak of for me personally, you know, not literally for me, but you get my point, is your hormones and your endocrine system. I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice. If you do have any challenges though this week, it's likely to be there, and it's very likely to come from either your sleeping habits or your eating habits. Those two things look like they might need to be checked in with this week. When it comes to your home and environment, Page of Cups, I mean, all in all, this is actually a very nice week. It's smooth, it's easy, it's kind of like, I think Ali Love calls it smooth as peanut butter, and I really like that because I loves me some peanut butter. I prefer salted caramel, but you know. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.